who feel that everybody could, if pressured enough, become and have a psychotic episode like this. And there are others who feel that only those who have a tendency to easy disorganization of the brain by their metabolism, that only they can get the psychotic trips. Because certainly when we analyze the underlying strife or conflicts that go on in a schizophrenic when they have recovered enough, that we find not too different a set of circumstances than what we find in the neurotic.
Parents strongly cautioned the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
Trying to save the patient from what would otherwise be a severe neurotic The patient that you saw me walking with demonstrates on the 8th day after admission the continuing presence of a catatonic panic.
All right, happy Monday night. We are back after taking a couple of weeks off for the holidays. So hopefully everybody watching had a absolutely wonderful holidays, both of them like Christmas and New Year's. Anyways, this is the very first interview back of the new year. And of course, we've got Keith from the Convalescence on. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We love having you on the show. This is your second time on the show. We don't have very many repeats. It's just our favorites that we have that come back. So you guys, you were like one of the busiest bands out there of like DIY bands. So if there was something that you could give into your success that could possibly help other DIY bands, what would you give them as far as advice?
I mean, we just are always grinding. We're always looking for the next thing we can do that's gonna push the band forward. And I mean, that's all you can really do. There's so much to navigate between, running social media, between booking shows, do we need management? Can we do this? Merchandise prices constantly going up. Vehicle prices constantly going up, the cost of touring.
Oh my God.
And it seems like there's never ending kind of hurdles that you are constantly trying to navigate. And the biggest thing is just don't give up. Don't let yourself slow down and lose that momentum. You just kind of have to keep pushing forward.
So what would you say one of the most difficult things about being a DIY band today is?
Really just keeping up with the cost of being a DIY band. Because, in our position, we're a theatrical band and we have to keep topping our last stage show from the last tour. You can't just do the same thing forever and have it, be interesting still to everyone who's maybe seen you 3, 4, 5, 10 times. So it's a constant battle of like budget with a band like us. A mistake such as like we ordered more merch than we actually needed for this tour or something. Now we have a bunch of merch left over, or a vehicle problem or something like that can be just absolutely catastrophic financially for us.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're at the point where we're taking risks by, taking our tours to Japan and to the UK and to Europe and stuff like that. And that's an entire new set of expenses and stuff like that. And a whole lot of just like kind of question marks of like, when we get there, what is actually going to happen? Like we know that this is what we're planning, but we also know that that may not be the case when we actually arrive. And same can go for the US. It's really, everything's just very unpredictable. And I think that all centers around trying to balance making enough money to where we can do this as full time as we do, but also putting enough into it to where it's not getting stale, and to where we as artists and we as performers are proud of what we're doing and moving forward in the manner that we are.
Gotcha. All right, Meg, you're up, girl.
All right. Well, with the stress that comes with putting it all together, and then you finally have the show, and what's your favorite like routine to decompress after a show?
I mean, honestly, like once we leave a show, I am not generally even like awake very long.
Sleep,
I
rest.
when I was like in my early 20s, when I was a teenager and when I was touring, oh yeah, after the show, let's party, let's drink 1,000 beers and act ridiculous and whatever. But now that I've been touring, this year, the Convalescence has been around for 15 years. And I was in bands touring prior to that. And at this point, I've played well over 1,000 shows, and
wow,
like, let's drink all these beers and like, let's party super hard is just not as appealing as it used to be. It's more of a, okay, we did our job. Let's get packed up and let's go hit a truck stop so we can all like get drinks and food and whatever and pass out. My personal routine on a tour is I will wake up every morning at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Because I also book bands. And I have to do my day job. Like that doesn't stop necessarily, So I will get up in the morning, and from like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning until, sometimes we'll have to leave wherever we're at 10 a.m. Sometimes we have a little longer. And I will sit there at the truck stop and on their Wi-Fi and work on my laptop for hours in the morning, doing day job work basically. And, then I will go to the bus and wake everybody else up, and that way they can go do their stuff. And I will sleep on the way to the venue, however long that is until load in. And I'm usually tour managing for us. So I have to be the first one up, first one in the venue, going and finding the promoter and introducing myself to the staff, and just kind of doing the daily checklist of what needs to be done when you arrive at a show, and getting sound check set up and getting load in handled. And then, obviously I'm a part of sound check. And then shortly after doors open and everything's set up and everything, it's time to start getting painted up and start getting ready and getting all the props ready and everything for the show. You know, and if it's a headline show or whatever, we'll get off stage after playing like an hour set. I immediately run to the merch table and try to hang out with as many people as possible. And then it's go hunt down the promoter to get paid time and settle up and do all of that. And then go back and kind of yell at everybody to make sure that we're getting our stuff packed up and getting out of the venue so that the venue staff can go home. And we load up the bus and pretty much, like I said, go to a truck stop, grab whatever we need for the night, and try to get some sleep in the couple hours we're going to be driving before it's like, or the couple hours that we're going to be sitting there before we're hitting the road again. And it's just kind of that repeat 7 days a week.
Over and over and over.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, CB, you're up.
So, what is your favorite fan interaction?
My favorite fan, like a specific instance or person, or like in general?
Just in general, what's your favorite moment that you had with a fan, or a funny moment that you had with a fan?
I don't know that I have like a specific like instance, but I really, really enjoy when the fans do become part of the show. Like when there's that for sure connection with everybody there, everyone's having fun. You can see it on everybody's face that they're just like having a blast, you know, because when the whole room is having a blast, so are we. You know, we're having a great time. That's why we do this. So when you see people singing along our show, you know, you look out and everybody's like swinging the body parts we throw into the crowd around, and everybody's covered in blood, and it's fun, man. It's just like a one big experience for everybody. And that's really, I mean, I think as an entertainer, the goal is to get to that point with the audience, is to make the show and make that night something special that, you know, they're going to take home and remember as something very important to them. And you know, shows like that, where there's that kind of energy and there's that kind of connection, are our favorite shows. Those are very just as important to us. And that's always the goal, is to connect with the crowd. And, you know, I know a lot of bands and a lot of musicians in general are very concerned with the specifically the musicianship part of it. We are less concerned with that. Obviously, we want to play our music correctly. Obviously, we want to sound good, and we want to play the songs the way we intended them to be played. However, we are far more concerned with entertaining the crowd. We look at ourselves as entertainers a lot more than we do as musicians. Even though we are a band and we are playing music, it's a concert experience. There's a reason that you bought the $20 or $30 or $50 ticket to come out and see this live versus looking it up on YouTube or listening to Spotify. And we want to make sure that everybody's getting the concert experience that they came for.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Caitlin, you're up.
My question is, can y'all hear me good?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My question is, who takes the longest to get ready?
Our drummer.
The drummer?
Yeah.
Why?
That's a good question. I think he's just slow.
That's a mystery. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't really have like a solid answer for that. I was just actually giving him shit on the phone about it last night. Because like he is one of the pickiest drummers about his setup that I've ever met in my life, and I've played with a lot of drummers. And this dude like will take a year to set up his drums if you let him. You know, I'm always yelling at him like, dude, we got to go faster. We got to go faster, you know? So it's gotten better, but also with his paint, I mean, I will give him credit. He takes the longest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
However, he will start painting up like 3 hours before everybody else. Like,
Wow.
it doesn't take him that full 3 hours, but like, he's like, okay, my drums are set up. We're good to go. I'm ready to be in the paint now.
Yeah.
Like, and he will immediately, and the rest of us kind of, you know, at a festival or like if we have interviews or like photos or something like that, if I know something like that's going to happen, I will paint up early, and I don't mind being in the paint.
Yeah.
Toby and Dan, they will wait until the exact amount of time it takes them to get ready and walk up on stage
Right.
to put any of their makeup on.
Yeah. So kind of like if I'm in a full beat, I mean, it's going to take me at least 3 hours. So I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, that's different.
I can personally be ready in about 20 minutes.
Nice.
Like full stage clothes, full makeup, everything in about 20 minutes. I would say Isaac is the slowest. I would say it takes him about an hour.
Wow.
Folks.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, you're up.
So, what kind of influences do you guys have from writing studio music compared to your live set?
So like, I don't know how much you guys have followed the band over the years. We've had a lot of member changes over the years. So every album, not every album, but a lot of the albums will feature different people than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So the writing thing kind of like varies from album to album as far as being in the studio. We are currently doing like pre-production and writing our newest album, which the plan is for it to come out this year. We haven't released an album since 2023, so it's about time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We're slacking. We've been playing a lot of shows and not really spending a lot of time on the music end of things as far as like new stuff. So this will be the first time that this lineup's heading into the studio. It's a little bit difficult in the writing process just because we're all spread out. Like I live in Toledo, Ohio. Our guitar player, Toby, lives up in Michigan. He's about an hour and a half away from me. And I was actually drove up to his house today to lay down some vocals on some new stuff. And our bass player, Dan, he lives all the way down at the border of Ohio and West Virginia. So he's about 5 hours away from us. And our drummer is from the Toronto, Ontario area. And
Wow.
so literally has to get a visa to even like be in our band every year.
Yeah.
So, and he's like a 6 or 7 hour trip away from us. So the studio stuff is a whole lot of, you know, doing some stuff and then kind of sending it to each other and adding to it, and then getting on like a Zoom call or something and being like, okay, this is what we like, this is what we don't, you know, that kind of stuff. I will say that with the new record that we're working on right now, we are kind of just doing whatever we want, more so than like trying to fit into like, this is going to be a great metal album and it's going to sound like this. You know, we've spent 7 albums trying to kind of cater to what we think people are going to like, or, you know, not in its entirety. Obviously we like the songs that we're writing as well, and recording, otherwise we wouldn't be putting them out. However, there's definitely been the sense of like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this on this song because this might go over better, you know, and there's always that lingering like industry side of things of like, it's got to fit kind of in this mold. And the more, I guess, that we've tried to think outside the box and just not, we just don't really, I guess, give a shit about that anymore. We understand that, like, we're a weird band, and a lot of industry people, a lot of the people that are very serious about their subgenres of metal do not appreciate what we do. And regardless on if we put out a killer album or not, they're going to look at our photo shoot and be like, fuck those guys. So at this point, you know, we all have done, we've done a lot of tours with a lot of bands and artists that are outside of our genre. We're all fans of music that is outside of the metal genre. And at this point, we are planning to definitely push some boundaries that we haven't really done before, as far as the sound, and mix in some things that we want to. And we're planning to have some guest features that are not necessarily other metal vocalists on the album. And at this point, you know, this is album number 8. We've been around for 15 years. We've been on Billboard. We've been on the radio charts. We've been top 5 on iTunes. We have millions of streams on multiple platforms. We've toured all over the world. I don't feel like we have anything to prove to anybody. And
No.
So we're just going to have fun with this one. This one's for us.
Right.
And I hope everybody likes it. I think the songs are killer so far, but you know, if it comes down to, oh, these guys aren't very metal, well, you can go refer to the previous 7 albums prior to that. But, you know,
or you could say, you know, they could just go kick rocks.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, like what you like, that's fine. But yeah, this album's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to have fun with this one for sure. As far as the live show compared to the studio, that has also been kind of pushing boundaries with that. I mean, for years, we only played with metal bands. You know, every show we played was a metal show. This is how it was. We only did metal tours. You know, the bands we were going after trying to tour were the bands that were big in the metal scene. At this point, we've done a lot of stuff with the Juggalos. We've done The Gathering twice. We did Hallowicked. We did some tour dates with Shaggy 2 Dope and DJ Clay. We've been out on 3 tours with Green Jello. You know, we did a tour over the summer with Isham. And those tours have been a blast, even though they are completely not our genre. You know, it is weird being the only artist at a show with a drum set sometimes. You know, and it's like rapping or, you know, whatever, but we enjoy that stuff too. And it's fun, you know, and we've done like just a lot of like the mainstream rock festivals. Like earlier in 2025, we did Rockfest in Wisconsin. We were opening for Eve 6, and
Awesome.
It was great. We had the first Wall of Death in Rockfest history.
Nice.
Nice.
Opening for, you know, Eve 6. We played Blue Ridge Rock Festival years ago with The Offspring.
Wow.
And, you know, we've played with Ace Frehley and stuff like that. So we've kind of just let ourselves let go of whatever boundaries of subgenres or even just in general genres, and are just kind of doing what we want to do at this point. And we're just going to see how that goes. And with the stage show, we're just trying to top ourselves. We're trying to make it more entertaining every single time we go out there. You know, so if we see something that works in our stage show, then it's probably going to be 3 times bigger next time we come out.
Hell yeah.
Touching on that with with the mixing of the genres. So like I live in central Mississippi, here it's all like country or southern rock. And I will say, when you have this band that comes up and plays a 3-hour set and they throw in like a rock or metal song, you would be so shocked at how many people get up
Mhm.
and rock out to that shit.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a nice surprise. You throw something in like that and people aren't expecting it, but you just found a whole new fan base, like at
Mhm.
that fest, or,
Yeah.
you never know.
We've really enjoyed being the heaviest band at some of these rock festivals
Mhm.
where it's all radio rock and then us. And it's like, wow, like everybody here is like here for like radio rock.
Mhm.
And we're going to spray them with blood and throw guts into the crowd and
Yeah.
chop up corpses on stage, and you never know how it's going to go, but the general reaction that we get, there is for sure some people that look at us and go, dude, what the fuck? What is happening? I hate this, and they're like out of there immediately. But then there's also the majority of the crowd is normally like, holy shit, I've never seen anything like this.
Mhm.
And like by the end of the show, we're like one of their new favorite bands because
Oh,
they
yeah.
just didn't even know that something like that was in existence. You know what I mean? Like the heaviest thing they've ever heard is like Disturbed or like Slipknot or something like that. Obviously I grew up with those bands. I love those bands, but on a scale of heaviness to where like it can get to at this point in time, and you're looking at like Slaughter to Prevail and Lorna Shore and Cannibal Corpse and Devourment and Signs of the Swarm and stuff like that, like it's not even close. And so then when you add in like all the horror elements and they're literally getting covered in blood and hit with body parts and then hearing this music for the first time, it's like this total just like, whoa, what the fuck, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's usually good from what we've seen, but I enjoy playing those types of shows more than metal shows at this point.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because I dislike metal shows. Obviously I love playing metal shows and hope to continue to do so for a lot of years, but and I'm a metalhead. I mean, that's the stuff I listen to. My closet is like 1,000 black t-shirts. But
Yeah.
like at the same time, man, I just love that reaction of like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this. And you kind of step away from like all the like, like the metal shows is it's such a tight-knit community that like everybody kind of knows each other. And it's almost gotten to the point where like if you're not a huge band like playing like massive clubs and stuff like that, if you're anywhere on the like, people are going to get to meet you at the show for sure, like because you're just going to be wandering around and like you're doing like all your own tech stuff and whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's almost not cool to be a real fan of you because you're just like that dude over there, you know what I mean? Like nobody wants to be like, oh my god, this is my favorite band, and like go tell all their friends and like that kind of shit anymore. Like, whereas you go to the rock show and a lot of those people seem to only go to like massive shows. Like they'll only go to like the Danny Wimmer festivals, or they'll only go to like this massive arena show or this amphitheater. That's their local venue is this giant amphitheater. You know what I mean? Like as far as they're concerned,
Right.
they're not going to the dive bar underground death metal shows generally. And it's crazy for us because like they're like, oh, $75 for a shirt? Hell yeah. And we're just like, dude, yeah, right. Like there's no way that we would be on a normal tour selling merch for what we sell it for at like festivals. And it's not up to us. I mean, we're price matching. Sometimes they don't even let us sell our own merch. But like to play those kind of festivals, they just, there's no like context of how big is this band. They're just like, they're here. They must be somebody. And it's like a way more like open-minded thing of being like a music fan and being able to be a fan of this band and being excited to meet this band and like wanting to be like a real fan. When I was a teenager, I was a real fucking fan of a lot of bands where I would be like stoked if I got to meet them like for 2 seconds and like shake their hand or something. And was so pumped and singing every word, like hanging on the front row. And on the level that like we're at and stuff like that, you're not seeing that as much at metal shows as opposed to like playing a festival and people are like there because they're like, I'm going to find some new bands. I'm going to spend $2,000 at the merch table. This is the big concert I'm going to of the year. Like they're ready to throw down and be music fans. And it's like refreshing, you know, compared to, yeah, all these people have seen us at one point or another, or they know about us, or, you know, they're all down to come up and smoke. They're down to grab a beer with you. You know what I mean? But they're not like, this is my shit. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Right.
Even if they are
Not
a fan,
fangirling.
it's not, you know, and we're not necessarily looking for like the fangirling kind of stuff, but like it's refreshing to see a full crowd getting like an unbiased, just first time ever. I've never heard of this band in that setting of there's a shitload of people. It's a big stage. We get to do our full production. We're all amped up because this is a huge festival. You know, they're getting our best show. And they're seeing this for the first time, just having no idea what's about to happen. And that's like really refreshing compared to just like the normal grind of touring.
See,
I like to shock people.
I dig that because it's like, I love going to shows that, because I'll look, because now granted, my area, we don't get a whole lot of shows. Like we just don't. The scene here is pretty much practically dead. Every once in a while, we'll get a show maybe 2 or 3 times a year at best. So like, I'll look for those like underground shows because when you go, I feel like it's a surprise every single time because like you don't know. Generally, you don't know the bands. You don't know what the fuck they're going to sound like. You have no fucking clue what you're walking into. And I'm like, man, it's like Christmas. It's like fucking open up your gifts, and it's like something fucking new every damn time. And I love that shit. Like, it's got to be a band. Like, for me to go to a big show, it's got to be a band that I really, really fucking love. Like, really, really love for me to go. Because I prefer the smaller bands. And I wish more people fucking did that. Because to me, even including y'all, I would put y'all and a bunch of other bands that I know, I'd put y'all up against these national acts any day of the week. And I guarantee you guys would kick their ass. And I mean, that's just being honest. Like, you have no idea how many good DIY bands are out there that are 10 times better than any of these national acts that you'll go see. Not trying to take away from the national acts, because I mean there are a lot of them that are really good, but they also have a whole lot of money behind them. So if you weigh that out, you kind of see what goes into it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of underground bands that maybe have never even left their local scene, and they'll like open for us when we go through somewhere, and it's just like, damn, those guys killed it. You know, and I always make it a point, like if I see a band just crushing it, I'll go in the middle of a tour, you know, I'll go buy a t-shirt from them. I want to go meet them. You know what I mean? Like, you guys fucking crushed it, dude. You know, and like, I still try to find as many new bands as possible at all times. For sure. And there's definitely been some like tours and some festivals and stuff where we've played with bands that like, I'm just not into, you know what I mean? Like I you know, maybe just didn't think I'd like it. And then when you see it live a couple of times, you meet the guys and like all that, it's just like, damn, these guys are sick now, you know, like, and it's such a cool surprise to go into something knowing of a band and kind of having an opinion and having them just like kick so much ass that opinion is just like out the window. Like, it's just, okay, I'm a fan. Like you guys, I'm not going to listen to your CD, but I will go see you live anytime, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been some bands like that too that really surprised me a lot. And I think that as far as the like excitement of something new coming out, I really miss like everybody going out to get the physical stuff. Not just because we actually get paid from that versus streaming, but like when it comes out on streaming, it's just like, oh, that's out. I forgot about that. I guess I'll check it out. And you listen to like 2 or 3 songs, then you get distracted and like don't give a shit anymore. You know, like versus I remember waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for like an album to drop. And then it finally came out. And I'm like, as soon as the record store is open, I'm like riding my fucking bike down there to go buy that album. You know? Like, and you get the like physical thing. You're sitting at home listening to it on the stereo, like reading all the lyrics and looking at the artwork and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like that excitement is just kind of like lost on streaming.
Yeah.
I would
agree
agree
for sure.
I would agree. I mean, I still do that to this day, but I guess it's because I was born in a completely different era, and now I'm a vinyl collector, so I buy vinyls. I get excited when bands bring out vinyls because I'm like, fuck yeah, and I want to open shit up and I want to look at shit.
The collection.
And see, I do CDs. I don't listen to them. I don't even open them, but I collect them. Anytime I see a CD out, I'm gonna buy it.
We hear so much. Oh man, I would buy a CD, but I don't even have anything to play it on.
I still have them.
And
every time.
And I honestly think that we probably sell more CDs just because it's like one of the cheaper things at the merch table, and it's like something that we could easily like sign for them. Like we sign a ton of CDs.
Mm-hmm.
They buy it for that so they can get the signature, and then they go and listen to it on streaming anyway. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the main reason we even sell CDs at this point in time.
Your autograph material.
It's like it's affordable because we have to charge more and more for shirts and hoodies and stuff like that because the printing cost is going up. And we don't have a choice. You know, when I started playing shows, I remember selling like just like logo shirts on the front of like my local band for like $5 or $10 a shirt. And we were making money. You know what I mean? Like now we're selling $30 shirts. And we're probably making about the same as we did when we were selling $10 shirts. You know, it's just getting more and more expensive. You know, hoodies got to be like $50-$60 now for us to even make anything selling them.
So I'm gonna get into a hot topic because I'm glad you brought that up. So with the rising costs of touring and merch and all that, this is kind of my opinion, but I kind of want to know your opinion on it. I kind of feel like this is one of the things that's going into like this major emergence of AI bands because they're not touring, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. People aren't going to shows as much. Do you feel like the rising cost of a lot of this stuff is kind of why AI bands are starting to get so fucking big?
I have mixed feelings as far as the AI stuff goes. I think it's a cool tool. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a cool tool, especially for people that like want to be creative in a musical way, but aren't necessarily musicians.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Do I think it's something that should be competing with like actual bands as far as like streaming or as far as like sales in any way? No, I don't. I don't like that. But just like anything else, you know, over the years, like that has changed about music and about the world. It's not like it's going to go away.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's going to everybody talking shit on the internet is not going to make it go away. And I see people all the time bitching about like AI artwork or AI tour posters or whatever. And it's like, dude, what does it fucking matter? You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter whether somebody grabbed a stock image off Google and used paint to slap some logos on it and have it look like shit, and they didn't pay an artist to do any of that, versus not paying an artist and having AI generate like a flyer that looks cool?
Right.
What is literally the difference? $0 is going to an artist regardless.
Right.
In that scenario, you know, if a band, you know, and I think that a lot of bands are turning to, you know, some AI stuff as far as, you know, I'm not talking about like music itself or whatever, but I'm talking about like, you know, a music video. Does it make sense financially for a band with the financial troubles that a band is having in this current situation with touring? An up-and-coming band can make an AI video, music video. It doesn't change the music they're playing, but can make a video with a bunch of AI pictures or something for free and promote it the same as they would a video that they shot. Or they can spend $2,000 or $3,000 shooting that video and then still have to promote that video the same. They still, any platform you go on, if you want anybody to see your new music video, if you want anybody to see your new shirt design, your tour flyer, any of that stuff, you're going to pay that platform to let people that already follow you even see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like in a lot of ways, up and coming bands, you know, are in a way being forced to use these tools that can get this quality done for cheaper because there's not as much money going around. You know, it goes from, you know, a lot of venues. There's a lot of venues around the country that just shut down in the last couple of years, period.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, there's a lot of venues, especially smaller venues, that are not going to take a risk on any show. They're going to say, this is our production cost. You guys can have this percentage of the door after this production cost is met. That's our deal. That's what we offer everybody. You don't like it, don't play here.
That's a lot of venues.
Versus, you know, 10 years ago, it was a lot easier to go, yeah, we're going to come play. We'll play for an hour. We want $500. And unless they were like, we're going to lose money for sure, a lot of venues or promoters would take a chance on that. And don't get me wrong, there's still good promoters out there that'll pay guarantees, and there's still bands out there that have proven that they draw and that they will bring in money through the door, and they get paid accordingly to that. However, as an up-and-coming band where you can't prove you're going to draw, you're at the mercy of whoever walks into that dive bar that night. If 10 people show up, you might get paid nothing. You still drove there. You're still paying your crew and whoever to be there. You still played your set. And at the end of the night, you don't get paid, and the bar's pissed at you because they didn't sell enough beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're walking out, you sold 2 T-shirts, and, you know, that don't even fill your gas tank.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. And then that comes down to, you know, you spend tens of thousands of dollars creating an album, like going to a good producer, getting good artwork that's custom made for your album, and printing the merch and getting an online store set up and getting everything and all the advertising. And, you know, you got to pay somebody to help get you on the radio. You got to pay somebody to set up a bunch of interviews. and stuff like that for you to get press for this. You have, you're paying a booking agent to get you out on the road and stuff like that. And like the venues aren't taking a risk. People are buying less merch because people are broke. People aren't coming to shows as much. A big thing is people aren't buying pre-sale tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And the promoters get scared if there's a guarantee because if you owe this band $3,000 when they show up and you've got 10 pre-sales 2 weeks out from the show, they're trying to cancel that show. And that burns the band on the road. You know what I mean? And there very well may have been 200 people walk up and buy at the door for that show. But without that guarantee to the promoter, to the band, whatever, I see shows get canceled all the time.
Yep.
Because low ticket sales. And you're sitting there thinking like, dude, how is this band getting like shows canceled due to low ticket sales? Like everybody I know was going. But everybody didn't buy tickets. They were all going to buy at the door and wait till the last minute.
Right.
And with everybody being broke, that includes the bands and the promoters. So they can't afford to take a hit like that if it's not looking like it's going to pan out. And another thing that's not helping that is a lot of the ticketing services have these huge ticket fees that actually make buying a pre-sale ticket more expensive than buying at the door.
Fees and taxes.
Yeah.
So if people don't think the show's going to sell out, there's really no incentive for them to buy ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that makes it tougher right there. And then labels aren't putting any money into bands.
Nope.
You know what I mean? They'll sign you, and then all your money goes to them.
It's funny. I still hear these younger bands because I manage bands, and so does Kaylin and Matt. And we'll hear these bands. Oh, we want to be on a record label. We're gonna get a record deal. We're like, do you realize that you're gonna have to pay them and buy on, and you're gonna have to pay up front? Like they're giving you like all this money up front like they used to. Those days are dead. Like that's gone.
I mean, it still happens, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Yeah, but you're
And
not going to be Jerry Lee Lewis riding around in a red Cadillac. Like, that's not going to happen.
yeah,
That's not happening.
No.
it's one of those things where bands are kind of being backed into a corner to produce a certain quality of content because the way social media works, you have to be a content creator as much as a social media personality, as much as you have to be a band.
Yep.
Right.
You have to make reels. You have to post this much. You have to word your posts like this. You have to put your link in the comments and not in the fucking post because,
None of the post.
God forbid.
It angers the algorithm gods.
Yeah. God forbid Facebook lets us advertise the ticket link in the post that we're paying them for our own
Right.
see. You know what I mean? Like it's really ridiculous, and bands I feel are being backed into a corner to try to find ways to get the quality that's expected by the fans and that the fans deserve and that they want to create as artists, but they can't necessarily spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to make that happen all the time, especially with the demand of how much content, fresh content is needed at all times to be successful. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at art designs, you're going to pay an artist a couple $100 at minimum, and you're going to wait a month for them to be done with it and it to be like ready.
I mean, I'm like severely undercharging. I feel.
You know what I mean? And you're not going to go hire a photographer or a videographer every time you need to make a reel or make a post, but it needs to be that quality. Otherwise, people are like, "Oh, this band sucks."
This crap.
Yeah, this is crap. And it's like, well, dude, like how when you haven't bought a CD in 12 years, how fucking much money do you think we have to work with to make this killer stuff for you every single post that we ever make, when you've spent maybe like $20 on our band in 10 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not magic. Bands aren't just like, well, I learned how to play guitar, so now I'm automatically rich. I guess I'll start a band. Like,
Right.
that's not a thing, man. So it really comes down to, I think, that you're seeing more of that kind of stuff on the artwork and of the video end of bands turning to AI and artists turning to AI because they're being forced to by budget. It's a tool where they can create cool stuff, interesting stuff for free.
Mm-hmm.
For the price of a monthly subscription to an app in seconds, versus hundreds of dollars every time you want to do something, or thousands of dollars every time you want to do something, and waiting the turnaround time for that to be actually created. So bands are having to, a lot of bands are having to pick and choose. Are they going to hire an artist for their album cover? Yeah, absolutely. Are they going to hire an artist for a tour flyer? Maybe not. You know what I mean? Like, because that you got to save every place you can. And I totally respect the artists that do graphic work and that draw and that make videos and that do photos, and they're in the same boat as we are as musicians, because the more that stuff is available for free or from an app, the less work they're going to get, because they're more expensive and it takes more time and you have to deal with somebody, that even that, you know what I mean? People don't even like to deal with people anymore.
Ew, human interaction, gross.
So I think in that sense, I think that's why you're seeing more of the artwork kind of into the music scene. As far as like the actual AI generated music, I think it's a mixture of, I think there's a lot of people that are like, I can spend a half hour, AI generate a whole album, throw it on Spotify, spend no money and collect whatever they pay out.
Right.
Or same with like YouTube or whatever. I also think that there's people that aren't necessarily musicians that want to play around with it because it's entertaining. It's this new thing. They can be like, well, here's my lyrics, and it generates a professional sounding song with a voice singing your lyrics to all your specifications, and you don't actually have to know how to play anything.
Yeah.
So I see I guess I see the appeal of it to people that want to be creative in a musical way that don't necessarily have that skill set to do so. I also understand why musicians are like, dude, fuck that. You know what I mean? Because it's you're doing what we do without all the time it took to learn how to do this. Right. You're doing what we do without the blood, sweat, and tears and money and everything that went into doing what we do. And you're collecting the same royalties, sometimes even more than we are.
Yeah.
I just saw something on, like, I think it was Rockfeed the other day, that there's a totally AI generated band basically doing Knocked Loose rip-off songs, even like ripping off their artwork and stuff. And they've got 130,000 monthly listeners. And it's just like, damn. Damn.
Dan is right.
But it's not, I don't like it necessarily, but like it's not going away.
Right.
No.
And AI is being pushed into more and more and more aspects of just daily life. Like the amount of people at their jobs using like Chat GPT and shit is crazy.
Mhm.
You know, and like
School.
yeah, school.
A
It's
student.
yeah, they're marketing these AI apps and stuff to use this to make a commercial for your company. Use this for this, use this for that. And they try to make it as easy as possible so anybody can do it. And yes, is that hurting artists? Absolutely. It on a certain level of maybe it'll affect the workflow. Maybe somebody's going to listen to that instead of your album, you know, or something like that. But the way I look at it is somebody might listen to another band's album instead of your album too, whether they're real or not.
True.
You know what I mean? So is it really hurting you? You know what I mean? Is it really affecting you? You're not going to make shit off Spotify anyway.
That's true.
You know,
That's very
you're
true.
not.
Honestly.
You're not.
God.
I've got like a couple million streams on there. I don't make shit from Spotify. You know, like maybe a couple $100 like ever. And so do I care that somebody uploaded an AI album? No, I don't really give a shit. It doesn't really make a difference. And do I get mad when I see AI art or AI this or AI that? I don't get mad. I might choose not to buy it.
Right.
I may choose not to use that stuff for our stuff or whatever, you know. I've seen some AI stuff that was really fucking cool. I've seen some AI stuff that's like, damn, that's whack. I don't like that at all. And that's the same as you know, art from artists. You know, you don't like everything. You know, we love working with Koki Greenway for our album artwork. And I sit there and hand sketch out like a sketch of what I'm looking for, and it looks horrible. And I send it to him, and a couple weeks later he's like, check this out. And it's like the sickest artwork I've ever seen. I love it. I love that process. But it takes months. And it takes a lot of back and forth. And it is not cheap. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to pick and choose. What artists are you using? What things are important enough to spend money on, period, as a band at this point? You know, are you in a lot of bands? It even comes down to like advertising. Are you spending money on a publicist? Maybe not. You know, because how many people are reading past the headline?
Right.
It's not like you're doing interviews for magazines anymore that come out on the shelf and people are getting subscriptions or like going to the store and buying like Terrorizer like I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, unless
You don't
you're a
see
nerd
that.
like me and read it all.
Yeah. Dude, I super miss getting like the new Hit Parader or the new like Terrorizer magazine or the new Metal Hammer, and you got like the fucking CD stuck to the front, the like sampler disc.
Ooh, yeah.
And you would go through and read all the articles about all the bands and see like the new merch that is coming out or the new album by these guys and like a review of it and stuff like that. I would so much rather be doing that than sifting through a million comments from people that are just on the internet to talk shit about every single thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, and just getting up in everybody's business and personal business and stuff all the time. It's fucking lame. Like
I just
it's
say thanks for boosting the algorithm every time they do that.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
yeah, I just we're doing this because we enjoy doing this. And we want to entertain people and we want to share a cool fucking experience with the people that support what we do. So when it comes down to politics or AI or, you know, why everybody hates this guy or like whatever, like I don't give a shit about any of that. I'm here to play death metal and have a good time doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. That's right.
Otherwise, you know, I don't get too involved.
Agreed. On that, we're up on time. For those of you that are watching, we're actually, you know, we always play a music video at the end for the band. We're actually going to go old school. We're going way back, like 8 years back.
Take it back now, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to go 8 years back. We're going to play the music video for Scum.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah.
For sure. We actually, we filmed that music video in the middle of a tour.
Wow.
In the basement of the Agora Theater in Cleveland.
Oh,
nice.
We were on tour with OTEP. We had just signed to Unique Leader Records, and our This Is Hell album was coming out that fall. And they were like, you need to shoot a music video for Scum. That's going to be the single. You need to get it done. We're like, dude, we're in the middle of a tour. And they're like, you need to get it done. Like, we
make it happen.
And so we had like a day off in between a show in Detroit and a show in Pittsburgh. And our manager at the time, Chris Bianchi from CB Entertainment, was like, hey, the Agora said we can use their basement, you know? And in that video, the director didn't tell us like what the video was gonna be or like anything. Like, it was all like super just improv on the fly kind of thing. And there was supposed to be a bunch of people that were showing up to like be in the video and get like killed throughout the video. And like all those people bailed like the day of the show.
The fuck?
And that, or the day of the shoot. And like our
manager,
Chris, he was just like, we're like, Chris, come get killed in this video. He was like, oh, I'm not going to be in a video. And he like just sat off camera and like watched the whole thing get made. So the only person that we had to like be in the video and get killed was our merch girl, because she was like literally on tour with us. Like that was it. Like that video was super low budget. That video was super just like improv on the fly, like shit, what are we doing? You know, and like the director guy, he showed up and he's like, here's this burlap sack and a chain I picked up from the hardware store. We can do something cool with this. And like that was it.
Okay.
All we had, you know, it was super weird.
We had a popsicle stick and 2 rubber bands.
That's what it felt like. That's really what it felt like to do that video. Yeah.
All right. So on that, here is Scum. Keith, you stay put. We will see all y'all again tomorrow. I think we got 2 shows tomorrow, maybe?
2 shows.
Yeah, 2 shows tomorrow. We love you guys. Have a fantastic night.
Self-destruct and live for what it's worth. The innocence is you want.